Hello, welcome back to another video, and welcome to all you new subscribers. Thank you very much for following me. Today it's part 2 of the heated Discovery 4 steering wheel retrofit into my Discovery 3. So if you haven't seen the first part where I replaced all the PCBs that I needed to do this retrofit, then click in the top right hand corner. And so this is what we're going to fit, and the all important part is this one here, and there's actually a little module in behind there, and you can just see that. That's for the heated steering wheel. Now you must make sure you get the correct steering wheel. So this is off a 2010 Discovery 4 or Range Rover Sport. They are the same, but don't get a 2014 Plus because they've changed the wiring and that control module is different, so you won't be able to use it. So make sure you get the right one. I've already changed the PCBs, as I said, so now we're going to take off the old steering wheel and fit the power needed. So there's an extra cable to power the this module here, which goes in via the clockspring. So first of all we have to do some stripping down, so let's go and do that. These are the tools you'll need to perform this retrofit. A little socket set with a 13mm. This is to disconnect the battery. T20 Torx to undo various trim. A small screwdriver. This is to undo the clockspring. As you can see, it's quite a small Phillips. Pair of pliers to undo the connectors for the airbag. Airbag removal tool, available on Amazon. Electrical screwdriver just makes it a little bit quicker to undo various nuts and bolts, and a 16mm socket on an extension to undo the actual steering wheel bolt. And it's actually a bolt, not a nut. Right, as you can see, I've stripped down my center console. I didn't video this because I've done it before. So if you want to see how you do this, just click in the top right hand corner up here, and on where I retrofit my cubby fridge, and I'll just show you how to tear this down. Right, so this is the right hand cigarette lighter. Alright, so mine's broken there, but this is the connector that we want. So all we're going to do is put our new cable loom into this, reattach it onto there, and then bring the cable loom up behind the center, up here behind the steering wheel, plug it into the clock spring. Okay, simple as that. So we'll come back when I've done it. Right, this is the cable I'm using that's going to power the heated steering wheel. Now if you've got Discovery 4, this loom will probably be tied up underneath the steering wheel somewhere, but on a Disco 3 you need this. So this is a already built loom that I bought with the PCBs, but of course you can make your own. You just need 2 wires, a negative and a positive. So this is going to go in line with my cigarette lighter socket on the right hand side. Alright, so that's back together now. This is just my USB extension, so the cable's plugged in behind here, and I've routed it up here, and currently it's just sticking out the top, and then we're going to plug that behind here. This is underneath the steering wheel cowling. So that's next. Next step is to remove this lower cover from the steering wheel cowling. It's just 2 T20 Torx bolts. So just remove it, you don't take it all the way off, just remove it so you can get access to the clock spring in there, look. Next step, we need to remove this steering wheel. So we have to disconnect the battery, leave it for 15 minutes so we can remove the airbag. So that's the battery disconnected. I've also, because we've got dual batteries on this car, I've also pulled the fuse for the solenoid so they can't connect accidentally. Right, now the battery's been off for about 25 minutes. We need to remove the airbag. Okay, now you'll need one of these. This is an airbag, can you see that? I'll put a picture in here. Now you'll see each side of the steering wheel there's these two slots. You need to put the tool in there, and then it will engage into like a metal locating, almost like a spring, and you pull it and that will release the airbag. So once one side pops up, just grab hold of it and then do the other side, and then you should be able to pull it out. It might take a bit of fishing to find these two locating rods, but it's definitely doable and a lot easier with said tool. So let's see if we can give it a go. Oh, oh, it's not going to be able to do it with the camera. Right, it's very hard to do the filming while I was trying to do this, but as you can see, that took literally a minute. So just insert the tool into this hole here, and then you latch onto it and just give it a pull. And what you're latching onto is this metal bar. Literally, you're pulling it towards you to release it from the locating lugs. And it's just the same both sides. Just do that. Right, next you just need to undo the two connectors on the airbag, and you can see the little black lug. You just need to push them in both sides with a pair of pliers. Not sure I can film this, but I'll have a go. There you go. Just remove the, and this one for some reason is really tight. Ah, there you go. Right. That's it, one airbag out. So I'm going to use the one that came with the new steering wheel, just because, so this is going to be a spare. So let's just undo this nut. Mine's a 16mm and it was bloody tight. So undo that, make sure the steering wheel's centered before you take it off. So just a note on the clock spring, you have to have the correct clock spring to have the heated steering wheel. So you can see here, you have an extra 2-pin connector here, and that connects to that control module I showed you earlier. And on this side, obviously, we need a corresponding 2-pin. Now this would be the power that we're going to fit. Now, just a quick note on the clock spring. As you can see, this part will be bolted to the car, and this part is the one that spins. Okay, this is the power that comes in to power all the switches and the LEDs and etc on the steering wheel, and then they obviously connect via these cables here. And the way it does that is there's like tracks in here that move. So obviously you couldn't have solid wires because when you turn the steering wheel they would break. So this spins around and around. So what the very important thing to do is this needs to be centralized, because if you install it, say all the way to the left like this, so we go all the way left, right? So we're left, that's left. So this has to be at the bottom anyway, because there's a hole in the steering wheel that lines up. So that's all that's left. So if we take that as central when we put it on the steering wheel, when you come to turn the steering wheel left, you'll come to the end and you'll actually snap all of this inside. So what you have to do is work out how many turns or how many revolutions this is. Okay, so say we start there, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, just over 7. So as you can't have a half, so we're going to go back 3. Okay, so we go 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then you know that you can turn the steering wheel 3 times to the right, 3 times to the left, and you know that you're not going to come to the end stop at either side. Okay, and you can just see here there's a little window where you can see that there. So that's where it's going to be installed like that. So the cable's at the top, this is at the bottom, the window is on the right. Okay, so that's how it's going to go, like that. Once you've got the steering wheel off, you just need to undo this connector here. Simple little push to release, not very tight at all, and then you can pull the steering wheel out, thread the airbag connectors through. Right, so this is the clock spring I was talking about earlier, and you can see we can go 1, 2, 3, and then stop. Then we go 1, 2, 3, back in the middle, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a bit. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one seems to be 7, but either way. So next step is to remove this clock spring. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 little Phillips screwdrivers. We have 4 Phillips screws, and you have these connectors here. So on this particular one there's only these 2, so the yellow one here and the black one next to it. So you just need to remove those. Right, so that's the 4 screws undone, and I've removed the 2 connectors there. They're just simple push clips. The yellow one is from the top, the black one there's a little push clip from the bottom, which you can just about see, and then you can just remove said clock spring and you can see the difference. There's no connector on there for the heated steering wheel at all. Right, so let's go and put the new one in. Right, then that's the new clock spring in. So there's the serial number, in case you want to see it there. It's going to focus. And the difference is this extra connector here, and that is for the heated steering wheel. Okay, obviously there's one there and there's one on this side. So here you can see the original yellow connector, the original black one, and underneath this black wire here, you can't really see, is my cable which I bought up from the cigarette lighter. So that's just a tap off that, and you can see I Just in there, I've just cable tied it into the loom to make it look a bit nicer. Now remember, this has to be in the middle like I showed you earlier. Connectors at the top. This pin has to be at the bottom because that's what locates into the steering wheel. And here's the two airbag connectors. When we come to put the steering wheel on in a minute, there'll be a connector which comes from the steering wheel, it comes out and it connects into here. We'll also have the one for the heated steering wheel which will connect into here, and these two will go through this hole in the back of the steering wheel and connect into the airbag. And that's that. So let's go and get the steering wheel. So I've just got the steering wheel resting on the spline, and you can see I've pulled the airbag connectors through and lined up the pin at the bottom. So this steering wheel also has a weight on here as well which needs to go on. So I'll take that off 1 minute, do this first. So then you can just push the steering wheel back on. So I'll do this one-handed. Nope. I'll just put the camera down, hang on a minute. Steering wheel's on. The heated steering wheel connector is on. So you can see it. The heated steering wheel one is, well, you've got the white connector. So it's just above the white connector. Can't really see it. But there. And we've got the two airbags and the earth to go on, and you can see it all lines up correctly. I just need to put my weight on, then the airbag can go back on. Right, well, that's the steering wheel on. Looking swished. So I'm just going to connect up the battery before I bolt it all back together, and we'll see if everything works. See there that both batteries are disconnected. Right, I'm just going to start it, check there's no errors, check the buttons on the steering wheel work, spin it around a couple of times. Right, horn works, good sign. Just going to spin it round. 1, 2. It's back to centre. And right, 1, 1.5. So it only goes 1.5 each way anyway. Okay, let's see if that comes on. Oh look, it's gone red. Let's see if it actually comes on, or see if it actually gets hot. Oh yeah, I can feel it. It's definitely getting hot. Thanks for watching the video. Please comment, like and subscribe. I hope this will help some of you out there retrofitting mods and factory options to your discoveries. Stand by. it's a good idea to subscribe, because there's plenty more coming. I plan to retrofit auto lights and wipers next. I'm just gathering all the bits and pieces I need. So yeah, see you on the next video.